Good morning. I'm Engineer Quintan Vargas, and sorry for the delay. This is the lecture for the preliminary aircraft specifications. So this will count as a supplementary lecture lang for the recorded lecture. Nakapag face-to-face lecture naman tayo for preliminary aircraft specifications. But you can still use this for reference ninyo. So, dito tayo sa reference materials. Again, it's the Aircraft Design Conceptual Approach by Raymer and the Unmanned Vehicles Handbook by Shepard. So, what are the procedures in design? First would be the selecting type of airplane. Again, andito pa rin tayo sa phase na to. Mostly itong power plant is midterms pa, as well as the payload and the performance requirements. So, in terms of sizing, we already know how far in terms of performance the aircraft can go. Tayo yung nag-set nito. We already know how far in terms of performance. Ito na yung binigay ko sa inyo na missions. Let's say sailplane, seaplane, tactical UAV. Yun na yun. Ang hindi natin alam is gaano siya kalaki. Kaya, kailangan natin ng sizing. So, magbibigay ng mission, tapos dun lalabas yung mga constraints when it comes to sizing. So, minimum weight with maximum performance, same goes with minimum speed to take into account the lowest performance mission segment. So, bakit yung lowest speed yung kailangan natin? Or bakit yung minimum speed yung kailangan natin and not maximum? Pag maximum kasi yung dinesign natin, makakover naman niya yung required. Pero ang problem is, paano kapag kailangan mo na mag-increase ng power? If it's already in the maximum, yung kinuha mong parameter, you cannot exceed beyond it. Pero, if we are to design using the minimum, eto, meron pa tayong range na pwede niyang maakyat. So, medyo vague yung comparison nito, no? But let's try another comparison. So, let's say ganito. Magkapantay lang sila. Ito ay minimum nitong isa, nung A, at ito ay max nung B. So, itong max ng B, ito na yan, hanggang dito na yung ceiling yan. Pero we can say na ito yung required, tas ito yung minimum. But for minimum nitong A, andito siya, di ba? Pwede pa dito mapunta yung maximum. So, yun yung reason kung bakit natin kailangan kunin yung minimum muna. Kasi meron pa tayo mga segments na kailangan pa ng increase in power. So, ano tong minimum speed na to? This is the so-called VSTOL. And ito, this is an important concept. But for VSTOL, ang alam natin na meaning ng VSTOL is ito yung minimum in flight. Minimum speed at which the aircraft will stay airborne. So let's say mag-drawing tayo dito. Merong aircraft. Ayan yung VSTOL. So nakaangat na siya. But may isang concept na hindi natin or nakakalimutan natin when it comes to VSTOL. VSTOL is also considered the maximum. Pero in ground. Engineer, kung equal pala sila na minimum in flight saka maximum in ground, bakit nakalutang to? Hindi ba for flight lang to? So ano yung kailangan natin tandaan paano nagkaroon ng maximum in ground pero nakalutang na siya? Baka nakakalimutan nyo na meron tayong tinatawag na IGE or in-ground effect, which effectively destroys or changes the property of induced drag. So, imbis na ganito yung mangyari sa induced drag, so imbis na magkaroon ng rotation na drag, ang nangyayari sa induced drag, di ba, ay nagiging ganito. Hindi na siya natutuloy into vortices. Tinutulak na siya. So, anong nagpapalutang sa aircraft kahit na naka-V-stall siya? Most likely itong in-ground effect. Nakuha to? Dito tayo. No matter how sophisticated the analysis or technique design procedure will be, yung actual na constructed aircraft will never match the predictions. Ano yung reason? vortex or vortices, turbulence, we can only approximate as close as possible. But we can never actually predict ano ba talaga yung nangyayari. Nakukuha yun? So, dito tayo sa kasunod. Ito medyo mahabang basahin, pero don't be confused. Pasimplihin na lang natin. The take off, and ito, the take off weight and the gross weight is W0 na. I-assume na natin siya na equal. In reality, hindi yan. Kasi sa take off weight, nakapag-burn ka pa dito ng significant amount of fuel. Pero for the simplification of calculation, we assume that the take off weight is equal to that of the gross weight. Nakuha yun na. Next, dito na tayo sa fuel fraction. Dito na tayo mag-compute. So, ano ba yung fuel fraction? Um, Approximation siya para maging independent na tayo sa weight ng aircraft. So, kapag gumamit kasi tayo ng ganito, na naka-fraction siya, kapag nagkaroon tayo ng changes dito sa WO, sasabay din yung movement ng fuel saka empty weight. Ito kasing crew, alam mo na yung weight niyan. It's either 170 pounds, di ba? Merong mga standards dyan. Sa payload, ikaw naman yung magsaset dyan. Dito na tayo sa WF and WE. Sa fuel weight, nakadepende yung weight ng fuel sa kung gaano kakalayo pupunta. And yung empty weight is ganun din. Empty weight naman is nakadepende sa kung gaano kalaki yung eroplano mo. Eh hindi mo pa nga alam yung size ng aircraft. Kasi ang nauuna ay, i-design muna natin gaano siya kalayo bago natin makuha. So ito yung reason kung bakit empty weight fraction and fuel weight fraction yung gagamitin natin. Kaya naman tong sundan, but simply ganito siya. So red yung gamitin ko dito. Empty weight or take off, the gross weight rather, is equal to crew, weight ng payload which is simply baggage plus, ano pa yung payload? Passenger or pax. Next ay fuel weight tas empty weight. Simplihin natin, WC na lang to sa pagsulat. Ang gagawin natin is ito, kung napansin nyo yan, this is simply WF times W0 over W0, which is 1 lang din. Ang kailangan lang natin is makuha in empty weight fraction. So, ililipat mo lang to dito, magiging WF over W0 multiplied by W0. Nakukuha ba to? The next naman is simply sa WE. Itong fuel weight kasi sa empty weight, hindi pa natin alam. Kaya kailangan natin i-express into functions of W0. After that, itatransfer natin lahat ng may W0 na function. Ito. By the way, ito pala, yung WF over W0, ilagay nyo siya sa parenthesis para hindi nyo na siya gagalawin. You will treat it as one entity. Ito din. So, transfer natin lahat to ng W0. Ayan, ayan, ayan. May iwan ay W crew and payload sa kabila. Then, isolate natin si W0. Nag-skip ng isa pero ganito lang to. Yung W0, ilalabas natin. So, we have W0 multiplied by, technically lahat to may W0. So, divide lang natin. So, ito yung magiging W0 over W0 is 1 minus WF over W0. Divide natin sa W0, makakancel tong isa. Then, ito naman, minus WE over W0. Ayan. So, nakukuha. Tapos, i-divide lang natin tong function na to, which is magiging ito, ayan. I-divide lang natin. May isolate yung W0 as is. Nakukuha yung movement ng fuel fraction. Doon tayo sa kasunod. More W requires more WF. Obvious naman, pag mas malayo ang pupuntahan, mas marami ang fuel. Ngayon, dito, empty weight fraction or yung WE over W0 is meron siyang empirical data. About 0.3 to 0.7. And kapag bumibigat yung aircraft, lumiliit yung empty weight. So baliktad sila. Kasi magkalinya ang WF or fuel and WE. Siyempre, kapag lumaki ang WF, ano mangyayari sa WE? Possibly mag-diminish yung percentage niya. And vice versa. So ito is na kung may empirical data kanina, meron namang calculation or yung formula, which is itong WE over W0 or the empty weight is equal to a walk KVS. Ngayon, madali lang to. Let's say meron kang UAV high altitude. Ito lang yan. Linyahan mo lang, tapos susundan mo lang yung formula. A and C. Itong C unitless. Pero itong A, ito ay English, ito ay metric. Nakukuha to? Ngayon, dito tayo sa pinakamahirap na part, which is yung KVS. Sabi dito, KVS is the variable sweep constant. 1.04 if variable sweep, 1.0 if fixed. Bigyan tayo ng examples. 1, 2, 3. Maraming misconception dito. So ito, anong sweep nito? 0. So ang variable sweep nito ay KVS is equal to 1. Next, ito, marami nagsasagot dito dahil naka-sweep 1.4 daw, 0.4. Kasi ito 1.04 din para naka-sweep. Pero isa lang yung tama dyan. Ang sabi kasi, variable sweep and fixed sweep. Eto, let's say may sweep angle na 22 degrees. Pero constant naman kasi siya, naka-fixed sweep. Ibig sabihin ito, kapag fixed sweep, ito ay 1.0 pa rin. Ang mababago lang or ang 1.04 ay ito. Kasi meron siyang dalawang sweep angle. Possibly ito ay 60 degrees, tas ito ay 30 degrees. So kapag may dalawang sweep or may iba-ibang sweep angle, dun siya nagiging 1.04 lang. Kapag naka 1.0 yung sweep, ano pa din siya? It is considered still as a fixed sweep. So magkakaroon tayo ng 1.0. Nakuha to? Next, mga fuel ulits. Mission fuel, WF, is the performing mission. Reserve fuel is for engine degradation. Trough fuel is ito yung mga naiipit lang. May mga tubes kasi dyan na let's say ganito yung itsura, tapos may fuel, hindi na mahigop, naiiwan na lang dyan. Kailangan ng bagong fuel para lang gumalaw to. Then, fuel fraction can be estimated based on the mission to be flown using approximations of the fuel consumption and aerodynamics. So, paano isosolve to? Itong mission, draft, and reserve. So, meron tayong total fuel is equal to useful fuel plus trapped fuel. Yung mga naipit. Ngayon itong useful fuel, this is simply WUF is equal to WF or yung mission fuel plus WR which is yung reserve fuel. Then next, itong WR usually percentage siya nung reserve ay ng mission fuel. So percentage base siya nitong WF. So paano natin to isosolve? Let's say magbigay tayo ng example. You have a total fuel of 150 pounds. Then, ang trap fuel mo ay equal to 10 pounds. If the reserve fuel is equal to 40% of the of the mission fuel, ano yung mga allocated fuels for each? So, dun tayo sa taas. Formula. Para makuha natin yung useful fuel, kailangan natin, so i-derive natin, useful fuel is simply WT minus WTR. So, 100, itong WUF is equal to 150 minus 10. Yung useful fuel mo ay 140 pounds. Then ang sabi, WR is 40% ng WF. So, yung WUF, pwede nating isulat as WF, tas yung WR is 40%, di ba? So, WF plus 0.4 WF. Kasi hindi natin alam yung reserve fuel eh. Pero yung WF, possibly malaman natin. So ngayon, 140 is equal to 1.4 WF. Therefore, 100 is equal to WF. Ito yung ating mission fuel and 40% ng WF is 40 is equal to WR. Yun yung reserve. Nakakuha yung process ha. Key points na lang tayo. Itong 40% is WF. Hindi natin sinabing 40% nung useful fuel or WUF. Pag ginawa nyo kasi to 140 times 0.40, ang makukuha nyo ay 56 pounds. Which is maiiwan sa'yo ay 94 pounds na lang ng mission fuel. Mali yan. Be careful sa mga ano ha, nakasulat ha. Basahin nyo kung ano yung percentage niya. Ito ay percentage ng WF. Example lang to ha. So, hindi siya percentage siya ng WF. Hindi siya percentage ng WUF. Nakukuha to? Doon tayo sa kasunod. Mission segment, siguro alam niyo naman na to. Take off, climb, cruise. Ang descent ay part ng cruise. Loiter na agad tayo before landing. Ito is mga other examples na lang which hindi naman kailangan sa inyo for designing ng simple na aircraft. Simple cruise lang tayo. So dito tayo sa high altitude um, mission segment or legs. So bakit, 'di ba ang gusto nating mangyari ay lumilipad tayo at high density conditions, 'di ba? Kasi lift is equal to 1/2 rho V squared SCL. Eh pag mataas ang density, mataas ang lift. Pero bakit tayo lumilipad at high altitude? Eh, high altitude has less air. Eto kasi yun. Pag high altitude, di ba less density? Pero yung loss in lift kasi is nako-compensate natin due to less drag during high altitudes. Tandaan natin na hindi siya irony. Sadyang lumilipad tayo at less density kahit na less lift doon. Kasi pagdating sa taas, less drag. Pwede mo naman kasing compensate sa power yung loss in lift mo. Pero dahil sa less drag penalty, yun yung advantageous. Increase in efficiency. Nakukuha. Gusto natin na efficient tayo pag nagpapalipad Mahal ang fuel. Same lang din dito, tatandaan nyo na lang itong mga to. Engine efficiency, tapos itong FAR. Dito sa engine efficiency, pinakita ko na yung derivation So make sure na basahin yon. Next, mission segments or legs. Sa mission segments, iba yung numbering. Nang start ng mission ay 0, warm up at take off ay 1, 2 ay climb, 3 cruise, 4 loiter, and 5 landing. Bakit ganon? Diba dito? 0, no? Tapos nag-take off agad tayo. Ito yung kino-consider. Sa legs is 1 to 5. Ang equivalent kasi nun is end of T0. So, ang W1 ay end ng T0. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ang formula kasi is Wi minus 1 over Wi. Kapag ginamit natin na yung start ng segment, it will be W0 minus 1 over W0. Magkakaroon tayo ng value na sorry, baliktad. Tama. Baliktad pala to. So, if we are to use yung Wi over Wi minus 1, tas nag-start tayo sa W0, magkakaroon tayo ng W over -1, which is walang sense. Kaya hindi start ang ginagamit natin. Hindi start ng weight. Yung end. Para alam na natin kung ano yung nangyari. Kung gaano karami yung nasunog. If it perfectly makes sense, W1 over W0. May sense, di ba? W2 over W1, and tapos start. Yung ratio nila from that segment. So, mas malaki kasi yung W0 compared sa W1. Mas malaki yung W1 compared sa W2. Kasi ito, habang tumatagal, lalong gumagamit or lalo nababawasan yung fuel. Simple it lang ha, tandaan na pagdating sa computations, yung 1 is sa TO na. Sa segment lang to, sa mission legs. But the usual is W0 is take off talaga. Pagdating lang sa leg na iba. Dahil end yung ginagamit natin and that the start. Nakukuha to ha. Next. Mission segment for legs. Madaling tandaan to. Aircraft loses weight by burning fuel. Ito yung general formula niya. We ignore descent and assume that it is part of the cruise range. Nakukuha to. Now, for brigade's range, napakita ko naman na yung derivation nito prior. Pero sa mga naghahanap, pinost ko naman na dun sa G-class natin kung paano ba to. May derivation naman na but it is from jet. Tapos convert natin to engine. Try lang natin. So yung C is equal to, di ba? CBHP tapos V over eta P. Ipapalit mo lang to dito. So mangyayari range is equal to V L over D CBHP V over eta P ln WI minus 1 over WI. Makakancel yung V, we are left with range is equal to eta P over CBHP L over D ln WI minus 1 over WI. Pinakita ko na yung derivation for propeller. So ito is yung kung kukunin yung mission weight segment. Kasi baliktad dito eh. So dito yung kailangan natin na formula. I-derive na lang yan. Papaikutin nyo lang. And same goes with dun sa ating brigade's range of and brigade's endurance equation. So check na lang ninyo yung mas detailed na derivation dun sa Google Classroom. Now, for the empirical data for weight fractions, we have warm-up and take-off, climb, and landing. Empirical data, gagamitin nyo na as is. For warm-up and take-off, malaki yung ginastos na fuel niya, about 3%. Then for climbing, about 15%. 0.15. Tapos ito ay 0.05. Ngayon, eto, ano ulit yung significance nito? Or para sa yung application? Ito ay known data. Ibig sabihin, regardless of how you compute it, almost always ganito yung magiging value niya. Therefore, hindi na natin kailangan mag-compute. We will use this as is. Ngayon, etong 97% is 97% nung initial. Pero itong 0.985 is hindi 100, hindi siya percentage nung gross weight or take-off weight. Ng gross weight. Ito ay 0.985 nitong nasa taas. Same with landing. Ang landing is 0.995 nung loiter. So, ang pag-multiply nito ay take off times climb times cruise times loiter times landing. So, hindi siya nakamultiply lang doon sa gross weight ha. Siyempre, kung ano yung natitira, doon mo siya ipe-percentage. If it makes sense. Kung makikita nyo na sa TR yun yung tinatawag na W5 over W4 times W4 over W3, which madidiscuss pa natin to later. Ayan yan, no? I-multiply natin siya doon sa naunang segment sa kanya. Nakukuha yun, ah. Next. Same lang din with endurance, napalitan lang is yung velocity or nawala siya rather. So ngayon dito, specific fuel consumption is the rate of fuel consumption divided by the resulting thrust. Ang units niya ay pound mass per HPR or pound mass per pound force R. Kaya meron siyang joke na ang units niya ay 1 over H or 1 over time. Kasi, ika-cancel mo to. Yung bound mass at pound force. So may iwan na 1/R. But don't be confused ha, hindi yan yung talagang hindi siya pwedeng i-cancel. This is just a joke or simplifications. So kapag may nabigay sa inyong given na, let's say 1.25 second raised to -1, anong value nito? It's for the specific fuel consumption. Dahil dito, sa joke na to. Nakukuha yan ha. Naging problems na to before. Practice problem sa amin. And, ayun, nasagutan naman. Pero, mas maganda na alam nyo na yung meaning. Hindi yung nagba-blind eye kayo ng paghuhula ng values. Dito naman tayo sa propeller engine SFC. For the CBHP din. Um, Concepts na lang to. This is just the pounds of fuel R per hour to produce 1 horsepower at the propeller shaft, which pinakita naman na din yung derivation sa Google Classroom. Tandaan tong units ha, yung conversion. Eto, gano'n na din, pinakita na din doon. This is simply yung conversion from C to CBHP. WF per time over thrust, tas ito yung C power. Pero ito naman ang kailangan natin, itong CBHP. Co-convert pa kasi natin, kaya may 550 to. So, make sure na i-check natin yung units. Nakukuha yan? Use dimensional analysis palagi. Iba-iba kasi to ng units. Next, dito tayo sa, ito yung example values lang for a specific fuel consumption. Kung napansin, 1 per hour yung nakasulat. Next ay another fixed values lang ulit. Dito na tayo sa LD estimation. Lift to drag ratio is a measure of the design's overall aerodynamics efficiency. Affected siya by wing span and wetted area. Bakit kaya? So mamaya ito muna tayo. Lift is known in straight level flight. That's why it's mainly a function of drag. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Yung lift kasi is equal to weight na. Yung thrust ay galing sa propeller or sa engine. Ano na lang ang kulang? Drag. Kaya ang lift to drag ratio ay function na lang ng drag. Kasi alam na yung lift eh. So ito na lang yung kailangan alamin. So alamin natin yung drag na yan. Di ba sabi kanina wingspan and wetted area? So induced drag is a function of wingspan and parasitic drag is a function of wetted area. Doon muna tayo sa parasitic drag. Obvious naman, mas malaki ang surface, mas magaspang, or mas maraming interaction. Simply, yun lang yan sa parasitic drag. But for induced drag, we need to use formula. CDI is equal to CL squared over pi EA, or aspect ratio. Aspect ratio can be written as CL squared over pi E B squared over S. CDI, cancel natin lahat, is inversely proportional to wingspan. So kapag mas mahaba si wingspan pala, mas mahaba yung wings, mas maliit yung induced drag for the same amount of area. And the opposite is true. Bakit kaya? Pag dinrawing natin, ito same area sila, di ba? Let's say ito ay 10/2, ito ay 5/4. Same area sila, correct? Pero dito, yung induced drag, paano makukuha? Sa formula, okay na tayo. Paano naman sa drawing? Let's say equal to 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So dito, sa visualization, mapapansin natin na drawing visualization, induced drag ay mas maliit sa longer wingspan kasi mas maliit lang yung wingtips niya. Unlike sa ganito kakapal or yung maliit na same din with aspect ratio. So nakukuha to. Next is the aspect ratio. Ayan, na-discuss na din. Ito na kasi yan aspect ratio. So inversely proportional siya sa CDI. So Since aspect ratio is directly proportional to wingspan, expect mo na same lang yung behavior nila. So yung high aspect ratio will have less induced drag and the low aspect ratio will have high induced drag. Nakakuha to? Kaya two airplanes with similar span and wetted area, despite looking totally different including aspect ratio, will have the same lift to drag ratio. Nakukuha to? As long as yung span and wetted area ay iisa. Oo, iisa. Magkatulad. Nag-iiba-iba na lang sila kung ano yung mas malaki. Kung mas malaki ba yung induced drag or mas malaki yung parasitic drag. Dito tayo. Increase in wetted area, ito na yung explanation lang, nahiwalay lang. Siyempre, pag malaki yung wetted area, malaki interaction sa wind. Malaki din yung lift and drag. Tapos tandaan to, kung meron kang pakpak, nasa technical report nyo na to, say ganito yung itsura ng pakpak, itong trapezoidal, yan yung reference. Ang wetted area ay lahat ng nag-i-interact sa hangin, usually parang surface area to. And ang kaibahan lang for S-wing is wing surface area. Ito na yung 2D lang siya. 2D yung wing surface area na ito. Compared sa wetted na, kasama pa yung ilalim. Next, this is just the formula for a wetted. As is na to. Sa mga nagtataka, paano nangyari to? Ganito lang siya kasimple. Aspect ratio, dito tayo mag-compare. Aspect ratio over S-wet. Ilagay natin sa taas yung S-ref. Is equal to B squared over S-wet, di ba? Tanggalin natin tong S-wet, equal naman sila. Aspect ratio, ito ay reference din, yung walang nakasulat. Aspect ratio times ref times S-ref is equal to B squared. Tama. Ngayon, aspect ratio ng reference is equal to B squared over S-ref. Di ba equal sila? So, ito yung pwede niyang comparison. Kung hindi alam yung wetted ng S. Ng ano. Hindi alam yung B squared or yung wingspan. We can use the aspect ratio ng reference. Pare-pares lang to kahit alin yung gamitin nyo dyan. As long as tama yung gagamitin na values. These are just samples of the wetted area. Now, dito tayo. Drag varies with altitude and velocity. So, muna tayo sa CDV graph. Drag and velocity. Lift, ito ay drag, ito ay velocity. Ngayon, ano yung drag na nag-i-increase as velocity increases? It's the CDO. Kaya ito ang kalaban natin sa supersonic. And ito naman ay drag, induced drag. Kasi pag bumibilis tayo, CDI is nababasag kapag bumibilis. So ano nangyayari sa kanya? Lumiliit siya as velocity increases. Naka-flatten kasi yung vortex. Imbis na ganito siya kaladikit-tikit, nagiging ganyang kalayo-layo. So parang hindi na siya nararamdaman. That's why we fly at the velocity for maximum LD to maximize the efficiency. Nakukuha yan? Pag maximum ang lift to drag ratio, ang velocity ay pwede nating, sorry, ito ay, mali. So para ma-maximize natin for velocity for maximum LDs, hindi siya yung kabilisan. Usually, ito siya. Ayan, itong tangent na to. That's the best flying condition. Hindi ang kailangan natin dito, kung compare natin dito, ito. Ito yung velocity kung saan equal yung CDO and CDI. Ito yung magiging pinakang efficient natin. Nakukuha yan? Dito tayo sa kasunod. Now, for cruise and loiter efficiency for velocity, it is up to you kung paano nyo siya i-memorize. Pero i-explain ko muna kung paano siya theoretically. Yung propeller, matic, it's a function of lift to drag. Kasi draggy ang propeller. That's why LD max yung kailangan natin during cruising. Kailangan chillax lang dyan. But for loiter, bakit 0.866 na lang? Ano siya, 433 over 500 lift to drag. Bakit mas malaki yung drag ng propeller sa loiter compared sa kanyang lift? Sa loiter kasi is almost nag-increase tayo ng power. Increasing in power will result to increase in thrust. Therefore, mag-increase tayo ng drag. Pag bumilis yung ikot ng propeller, mas nagiging draggy tayo. That's why, ganito yung mangyayari. But for jet, it's the opposite. Sa jet kasi, ang gusto natin, mabilis siya. That's why during loiter, or nagsusunog siya, paikot-ikot siya, ang magiging LD max niya is during loiter. Kasi, pag binagalan mo, tulad nito sa cruise, nagcho-choke kasi yung engine nun. Kaya nagkakaroon ng increase in drag. Hindi siya designed for loiter. So opposite sila, ay hindi siya designed for cruise. It's designed for loiter or for the mission. So gets yung pagkakabaliktad nila ha. Now, ito yung tip ko para mag-memorize. Tandaan nyo lang si propeller during cruise has the LD max. Tapos opposite sila ni propeller, ni jet. So kung opposite si jet, edi ang kailangan natin dito ay LD max. And tandaan nyo na lang kung ano yung value. 0.866. Naka-cross lang. So up to you kung paano siya i-memorize. Nakukuha to? Doon tayo sa kasunod. Fuel fraction estimation. Now, ito yung usual value, 6% allowance, pero nakadepende sa given. Kaya dito, for fuel fraction estimation, kailangan natin ay ito. Pero what is WX over W0? WX over W0 is simply kung ilan yung mission. Let's say W5 over W0. Ito na yan, ito yung simple eh. Pero paano natin ito makukuha? Diba? Itong WX ay itong W5 over 0 ha. X denotes for ilan yung missions mo or ilan yung legs. Paano makukuha to? Di ba meron tayong fuel weight fraction kanina? W0, 1 over W0 multiplied by W2 over W1 times W3 over W2 times W2 over W1. Ay, sorry, W2, 3 over W2, W4 over W3, and W5 over W4. Pag pinag-multiply yan, cancel, 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 may iwan tong dalawa. We are left with W5 over W0. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ito yung ratio from ano yung fuel nung naubos, ay ano yung weight nung naubos na lahat ng fuel compared dun sa gross weight. Ano yung reason bakit kailangan natin i-compare? This will help us calculate ano ba yung amount ng fuel needed natin. Pag naka-percentage kasi siya, regardless of sizing, kahit gaano pa kalaki or kaliit yung i-design mo, kapag may binigay kang percentage, i-multiply mo lang yun, di ba? Let's say meron kang 40%. 40% of 100 is 40 pounds. O let's say, mas malaki, naging 150. 40% of 150, hindi mo na kailangan mag-compute ulit. Kasi meron ka ng fuel weight fraction. Imu-multiply mo na lang siya. Hindi mo na siya i-solve ulit from this. Kasi na-compute mo na siya from 1. Pwede mo na siyang i-transfer regardless of size ng magiging aircraft mo. Nakukuha. Ang gagawin lang natin is, since ito yung nagamit, ito yung naiwan pala, sorry. Ito yung naiwan na weight. Para malaman natin kung ano yung nagamit na fuel, ima-minus natin siya from 1. And then multiply natin ng 1.06 for the allowance na 6% or 0.06. It will give us the WF over W0 na. The fuel na kailangan natin. Nakukuha yan? Sizing is the most important calculation in aircraft design. Kaya nga, as I suggest, gawa kayo ng PowerPoint, ay not PowerPoint, ng Google Sheets para mabalik-balikan ninyo. Kung kailangan baguhin, simply type the data, matatapos na. And that's for lecture 2. I'm Junior Quintan Vargas and sorry for the delays. Maraming inuna na kailangan gawin and this is a supplementary lecture lang naman. Nag-o-open naman ako ng face-to-face special lectures na free to attend naman for all. And for OJT constraints, this one's for you. References are below and pakibasa na mabuti. Mag-aral for the exams and gawin ang TR. Thank you.